Diego, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Jade?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. How are things going right now? What have you been up to?
Pretty good. Actually, right before I came on, I just got done listing one novation. Uh, Filled out the MLS listing. Working on the second one right now. So as soon as I get off from here, I'm going to list my second one. But that's what I've been working on. Just traditional right now, novations.
Okay.
But I
Yeah,
don't know if
I've been seeing.
I don't want to get too deep in it right now because I know it's just the intro.
Yeah. Let's start out. I definitely want to get into that. So let's start out with talking about how you got into real estate in the first place. What's your story? How did you find yourself becoming a real estate agent and investor?
Yeah. So I started like studying real estate about around 2021. So I was going to college like right after COVID, like a local community college. Just kind of going there, trying to follow what my teacher tells me to do. I didn't really like what I was doing. After I got done with it, after my first semester, I was like, I don't know if this is it for me. So I kind of just started looking at other avenues, other business ideas, and that's why I ran into real estate. And I actually have like a family member that lives down in Houston. They're the one that kind of introduced me to real estate because they buy like multifamily, and they're the ones that kind of like introduced me to creative finance to be exact. Uh, so that's how I first like heard about real estate from my family. Then they kind of told me how to take action. They told me what to look for, what groups to look for, the bad and good things to look for. So I kind of followed their advice, and I went to local meetups. Went to many. Some are good, some are bad. I would just say the ones that are bad, people aren't bad. They'll try to charge you for a mentorship for like 20K. Then I went to a meetup that Jab, Zach, and Chris Crump host over here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. It rotates each meetup. So I met them at that meetup in Dallas, and that was the one that was kind of game changing for me because I'd never done a deal, since then. That was probably like about a year and a half ago to be exact. So I met them. I kept in touch with them, kept going to the meetups, and that's where I got introduced to Sub Two because I was kind of looking at their groups, the people who are in there, what they do, just researching them myself, just doing some background checks, and that's where I saw like all this peace sign everywhere. I was like, hey, who's this peace sign person? So I looked up, and it was Pace Morby, and I was kind of watching his videos, and he was talking about buying properties with no money at your pocket, no credit, no cash, or no credentials, whatever. So obviously that grabbed my attention because I'm only like 22. I'm not the best bank person. I don't have like a bunch of W-2 experience. I work obviously, but I don't have like I would say a good stable job
Yeah,
at the time because I was just fresh out of high school. I was going to college, so I just worked at a part-time job. So that's the reason why I was real big on creative finance up front because I can't buy any properties, using a bank. So the only way I can buy is just utilizing creative finance, which is the reason I'm here now. I'm doing the stuff I do is because I really like it. It was one of the best things in my life I got introduced to, and to me, like paying to join this mentorship is one of the best money I ever spent too.
for sure. Yeah, I agree. I like that how you basically were forced to go down the creative path because of, you don't necessarily have the option to buy traditionally, which I'm in the same exact boat. And that was a big reason why I also joined Sub 2 is I don't have a W-2 either and it's hard to get approved at the bank. So when you can go buy all these houses, you can buy more in general with creative finance, but when you can buy them without having to go through that qualification process, it just makes your life so much
Right.
easier, faster to build wealth. So your family member was already doing creative finance.
Yeah. So they were buying multifamily properties down in Houston. They were buying them like on seller finance. They weren't doing subject to. They were just doing
Okay.
seller finance. So that's creative right there. So yeah, they
Hmm.
were just buying a bunch of units, probably like 100 plus units. I went to go see them, and that was an eye opener too. It's pretty cool seeing somebody own some apartments, like big units. I never thought of like someone could own it until I met my family. And to mind you, this is like family I met probably like just 2 years ago. I'd never met them a day in my life, and just it was funny how I met them too. Just I kind of asked around, and my family, like, hey, who has a successful business that's actually making money and that's been doing it for a while. And my grandma introduced me to her brother. So that was a guy that I know that does real estate, and the one that's kind of like put me on with everything. Not like everything in my life, but I would say getting me introduced to creative finance.
Okay. Okay. So you got introduced. How long after that did you become a licensed agent?
So I was going at it for maybe like a year and a half without my license. I was trying to do cash wholesaling. I had a team of VAs. Uh, it didn't work out. Sadly, I had to fire them, not because they were bad, just because being a newbie, I was trying to like build my team fast. So I was blowing money and I was doing no deals at the moment. So it kind of, ate up my money. So I had to let them go because I couldn't afford it. So once that happened, I kind of just switched over and I was like, I got to look at creative finance. And like I said, just everything that's time back is all creative finance.
Yeah.
Then I got my license in October of 2022. And once I got my license, that's when I joined Sub 2. I joined Sub 2 around December 5th, 2022. So it was kind of short time frame. Once I got my license October, I just, try to do some, normal rentals, normal listings. I was at Keller Williams. Wasn't getting no traction. Then when I joined Sub 2, since I had my license, I started doing a bunch of agent outreach. I used to watch Damon Cooks. He used to do like a lot of videos. I used to go on his lives like every day. It's pretty educational, so that kind of helped me out. Then I was just, hitting the phones nonstop, and I finally got my first deal on market. And actually, Damon Cooks was the guy who actually JV'd with me to kind of help me close that deal. Not
Oh,
kind of, but
cool.
he did help me close that deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So your first thought was let me hire some PAs and just scale this thing really quickly. Looking back, was that the wrong decision to make as a brand new person in the industry?
Yeah, I would say yeah, because I didn't know how to cold call. So, without proper training and all that, they're kind of just shooting in the dark. So I
Yeah.
would say like if someone's starting out, my best advice would be just do it on your own. Hit the phones. It sucks. I hate it too. Don't worry, I still hate it, but I still do it. That's why I hired up the VAs too, because I hated cold calling. But yeah, I mean, just that to me, it wasn't a waste of money. It was just a big learning lesson because, like I said, it
Yeah.
helped me improve. But yeah, I mean, just to me, like the best advice I can give to beginners is save money, just do stuff not on your own. Obviously, JV with people, but I wouldn't hire or try to scale too fast unless you're like loaded and you don't care about losing money. It's cool, but it just really depends on someone's situation.
Yeah. Would you say that it's ideal to for the business owner to know how to do all parts of cold calling, underwriting, basically the whole business before hiring people to do that?
Uh, that's how I am. I don't know how to do everything like perfective, uh, but I would say like I know a decent amount of everything that if I needed to train a newbie or train a VA, that I can give them like a good amount of knowledge for them to get like a really good foundation, so they can
Yeah.
learn how to make the calls, how to underwrite, how to close. But I would say like I'm not a professional at all of them. Um, but yeah, I mean, just if you're gonna hire out, I would say yeah, you kind of need to know what you're doing, or if not, hire someone that knows what they're doing, and you can just outsource it completely,
Yeah,
like an
for
HR
sure.
department maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe hire someone that has been in the business for a long time and knows more than you
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Okay, so you did that, then you were an agent at Keller Williams, trying to do stuff traditionally, wasn't getting traction. At what point, I guess, how did you pivot from that once you were like, this isn't working for me?
Yeah, so I pivoted by I left the office because they were cool and all, but they just weren't fans of creative finance. So, and that's why I wanted to do because if I spent money on a mentorship, I'm not going to put it to waste. So I was locked on with that. So
Yeah.
once I left them, I ended up joining EXP, and EXP was cool, but I wasn't a fan of like the cloud, not having hands-on training. I don't like not like hands-on, but like at least having somebody I know that I can talk to, easy access.
Yeah.
I got that, but there were some questions I asked them and they didn't know, so I was like, I don't know if it's the best fit for me. And their structure is good, But at the time, I'm a new agent, so I went left them actually too. So I left like two brokerages. I would say like in maybe 3 months. Then
Okay.
I actually ended up joining this brokerage, Gray Square. Uh, I heard from Damian Ponder. He's a sub two student as well. He was doing the elephant challenge, and he was kind of not leading it, but he was in there pretty much active. At the time, I think it was Don and Damon leading it. Uh, so when he introduced me to my broker, I talked to him, told him what I wanted to do, my goals, and I asked him if he's cool with it, if it's something he can work with, and how we can work together. And he was pretty cool with it. I wasn't like just telling him I'm gonna be just doing sub twos only. I told him like, hey, I'm gonna try my best to get listings, but I want you to know that I'm still new for like traditional. I don't know a lot. I don't know how to do
Yeah.
listings. So he was like, hey, you know what? I'm happy to take on people that are willing to hustle as long as like you can make the work happen. So he
Right.
gave me a shot, and it's been working out. I got my first couple of listings sold this year actually. Those were novations, and he allows me to do those. Not every broker does because it's a little sophisticated, and you just gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be careful. But I talk to him a lot, tell him that what I'm studying, what I'm learning, what I'm changing, which is pretty frequent. So that kind of makes them feel comfortable. And at the same time, I want to make myself uncomfortable because, obviously, if you're an agent and you do something wrong, you can get in trouble with Trek. And at the same time, when you get in trouble, it affects your broker. And I don't want to affect none of my people, no, not my broker, no one in the same brokerage because everybody has a family, everybody got to make money. If they have kids, you got to feed your kids. So I don't want to ruin that for everybody. So I just make sure,
Yeah.
like any creative deals that I'm doing, just I make sure to review the paperwork extra hard.
Yeah, for sure. Can you talk about what a novation is for someone that has never heard that term before?
Yeah. So the word novate means to replace. So what innovation is basically, say you're trying to cold call a seller and you got a lead and they want to sell. I would say they make it easy. The ARV's 100K, and based off the 70% rule, your maximum offer is 70,000. I'm not including repairs or anything, just to make it easy. So
Hmm.
the seller wants 80. Or say the seller wants 80K, and you got to offer like 30K to make it work as a wholesale deal. Uh, so if the seller says no, I don't want that, it's too low, it doesn't make sense for me. You can obviously pitch creative finance like sub two and seller finance, but not everybody wants to do that because a lot of people want their cash, and I don't blame them because they got people either want to buy houses or do something with their money. So what a good thing about novations, if you can't offer the seller what they want, you can just be like, hey, look, I know you said you want around that $80,000 to $90,000, in that range. What if I can guarantee you to give you 80K on a contract, but you're not going to get it like the same day or next couple of weeks? The way it works is it's like a white glove concierge service. So we're going to put it on the MLS. We're going to list it. We're going to take care of all commissions, all closing costs, and any repairs that buyers may request. So these novations are usually good for sellers that do want to sell. They will like the list, but they're afraid to list because they can't afford the repairs. So if they can't afford the repairs, then usually that kind of like stops them from listing because they got to pay commissions, closing costs, and like I said, repairs. So
Yeah.
that's when we come in and just give them that pitch, like, hey, we're going to take care of everything. Don't worry. Make sure we're transparent. Make sure to have the communication with everybody that's involved. If it's just one person, that's cool. But when it comes to like the multiple people, like the wholesaler, aka the investor, and the normal seller, you gotta make sure everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows what's going on, and no one's left in the dark. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, you want to avoid legal issues as much as possible.
Yeah. So once you have that A to B contract with the seller and you go to list it, are you renovating it before you list it?
No, so I don't renovate it before
Okay.
we list it. So I'm not the one doing the repairs because I'm just the listing agent on these. So like
Right, right.
I don't like physically do the repairs. Usually the people I work with, they do it. I have a contractor I sent them, and the contractor I met from a sub two meetup actually, so it was pretty cool. So the way we do it is we'll list the property as is. We'll get professional photographers out there, get really good pictures. Um, and just to make it like real detailed because a lot of people ask me this question. So you're going in, you're fixing the house that needs to be gutted. No, I don't focus on houses that need to be torn up or that obviously need a lot of work. What I focus on is properties that are off market. The seller wants to sell. The repairs are probably like 10K max. 10K max. Like I don't want to do anything over. The reason why is because I want to be able to list it as is and get it sold. Not get it sold as is, but get it under contract as is. Then when the buyer starts requesting repairs, then that's when we start doing the repairs. People do it completely different. People, fix the house, then put it on the market, but market's slow right now. You got some people that are sitting on, their hands with some novations. It sucks, but that's why you just kind of got to be careful. You just got to strategize, kind of think it through. I mean, and that's why I like having the buyers get the house under contract first, have their EMD in, titles pulled, everything's going on. They're getting their, inspection, getting their appraisal. Once all that comes back, and like I said, once they start requesting repairs, if it's reasonable and it's not like too expensive or not like unnecessary stuff, like, hey, change. We have people just want to, there's a lot of stuff that people, ask for, and it's just like random. And sometimes it kills the deal. So we just got to make sure, it's not like unnecessary. And you might know what I'm talking about because you're an agent yourself. But just with traditional listings, if you're not an agent, when you sell a house on the market, the seller actually does the repairs themselves. And the only way they find out if they're going to do repairs is one, they do it up front, then list it, or two, they list it. Then when they find a buyer and the buyer does their inspection, either the lender can request repairs. That's another thing. Is the lender going to request it or is the buyer going to request it? That's what you got to know. And the only way you kind of know about the lender is honestly, it's just, you run the comps, making sure you're in a reasonable range because you want to make sure it qualifies for an FHA loan, conventional loan, any type of loan. You don't want to overprice it because if you overprice it, no one can get financing on it. And if no one can get financing, then no one's going to buy it because the whole point of novations is selling to retail buyers. And what I mean by retail buyers, I mean just normal everyday people that are looking to own a home and are not, they don't mind either putting in work or, like I said, we can fix it. It's cool, whatever. But that's just the name of the game. We're not selling to investors because if an investor bought it, it doesn't work. Like if they try to flip it, they'd probably be just sitting upside down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So during that whole process, the deed is still in the seller's name, right? Like no transaction has been closed yet. There's just an agreement in place that I will pay you this amount, but I'm listing it on the MLS during this time.
Yeah. So we don't have any like control over the deed. I use a closing attorney for this. I use Alan Shesker. So I use his documents. They're pretty nice. If you reach out to him, I think he has a sample he can give you. The sample he has is like a novation amendment, and it's pretty nice. It's real specific, and it tells you, it lays out the whole plan. So when I do novations, I don't mind closing with title companies, but I'd rather close with an attorney, and that's usually how I do it. So like if someone wants to do a novation, a couple of things I'm gonna ask you is, let me see your paperwork. Is your paperwork legit? Because I'm gonna make sure to get it reviewed by an attorney. I'm gonna make sure they look at everything that if something went wrong, how can we get burnt? Number three, have you done them before? If not, then it's better for me just to JV with you and show you how to do it, and I can have like someone else list it. Either way. But I would just say like if someone does want to do innovation for me, I would say that paperwork is going to be the biggest thing to me. That's going to be the factor if I either help you out or not. It's not like because I don't like you. It's just because I don't want to use anybody else's paperwork or someone I don't know just because, like I said, if legal issues arise, do you know if it's even safe? It's good, because people will get a lot of contracts that I've seen. They'll get it from like other, investors, other gurus. And I present it to other attorneys and they're like, oh yeah, this won't fly in this state. It may fly in another state, but, and that's another thing too. When you're doing innovations, the way I'm explaining it, it may work in Texas, but this will work in the other states. You got to make sure you're staying compliant with the MLS, the multiple listing service, whatever county or whatever area you're in. You want to make sure you're staying compliant with them. So read like their handbook and all that from like start to finish. That's what I did. And in my state, I have TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission, and I read all their rules, like I said, start to finish. So that's kind of how I did my studying for innovations, and obviously just asking the other attorneys too. So I just gather all the pieces together. Try to put my perfect strategy. And it's been that I wouldn't say it's like been making me millions, but it's been great. It's been working. I've been closing on these. Haven't had any issues. Knock on wood. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So novations are going to really be ideal for sellers that are off market. Like you're not going to go find a novation deal on market
yeah,
because that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
yeah, yeah. I have a lot of
Okay.
people actually hit me up with that issue. Hey, I have an ovation. I'm like, is it off market or on market? That's the first thing I ask too.
Mm,
On market. I'm like, hey, I don't think that work out. You know, because you really can't. I mean, if they already have it listed, why would an agent take it off, relist it just for you to make more money instead of the seller? You know?
yeah, that is that's right. Okay. So from I know every transaction is obviously different, things pop up, but from start to finish, I guess a better question is on that contract between the buyer and the seller, what's the closing timeline typically look like? Since I
So
would
I do
assume it's
3 months minimum. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no, you're
I
good,
try
you're
to
good.
do 3 months minimum,
3 months?
and the reason, yeah, 3 months minimum, and the reason I try to do 3 months minimum is because, from my experience, you can get the house under contract maybe in 20 days, 30 days, price it right, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it's going to close no matter what. People fall out for some reasons. Like I said, repair requests. That's another reason why people back out. They change their mind, or title issues, or whatever pops up, and it makes someone back out. So you want to give yourself enough time to list it, get it under contract one time, let it fall out, get it under contract again. If it falls out, you have enough time to get it sold. And just with the
Yeah.
market right now, the reason I do 3 months minimum, interest rates aren't super sky high, but interest rates are a little high for buyers, from what I heard. And it's the holidays, market's slow right now. So when
Mhm.
people hit me up with novations, I say, hey, try to structure it 3 months minimum. And the reason why is because you want to give it enough time to get sold and give yourself enough time to fall out with some buyers, because it will happen. It's happened to me plenty of times. So, that's why I just kind of learned from my experience.
For sure. Yeah. I think people underestimate how long it takes to close transactions sometimes. So I like that 3 months is good. So
Yeah.
besides that, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, because a lot of investors are used to 7 to 10 day cash close wholesale, all that.
Yeah,
Retail, different ballgame, way different ballgame.
for sure. Yeah, especially when you're dealing with lenders and appraisers and there's like six different parties involved. And like I just had a listing and it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed because of the appraiser, because of the lender. And like it's just out of your control and you have to wait for these people to do their jobs before you can close. So yeah,
Exactly.
always expect it to get delayed really. Okay, so you're focusing a lot on innovation listings. Is that your primary focus? Is networking with people that are bringing those to you?
Yeah, I would say that's been my most popular deals right now.
Okay.
And the way I kind of get my leads, people ask this question all the time. I don't actually do cold calling a lot myself. Like, I don't grind out for these leads. I guess my avatar is networking. A lot of people tell me that.
Okay.
So I had a meetup with Elena, Orlando, and Don Walker. So we have it at Grand Prairie, and I meet a lot of people out there. I go to different meetups, and the way I get my novations is I partner up with wholesalers that have over asking leads, kind of like what I explained in the beginning. Doesn't work out for cash, so I help them either pitch sub two. Doesn't work out sub two, cool. Pitch seller finance. Doesn't work out seller finance, cool. Then that's when I turn to novation, and that's how I get my leads, just from other wholesalers that do the grinding out, but they don't have their license, or they don't know anybody that knows how to actually close an ovation the right way. Because a lot of agents will say they'll take them, but they don't. When it comes down to the moment, they don't know how the process goes. It's a little different from traditional. Like, you're selling a house on the market, that's cool, but there's a lot, like, just the paperwork's way different, way different.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a lot more moving parts, and you're
It's
technically
a lot more.
listing that for someone that doesn't even own the house. So I can see where that can get a little bit messy if the paperwork isn't right.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that's why I just make sure the focus on paperwork. That's my number one priority when I do these deals. It's the paperwork, the seller, and the investor. The reason I put the investor last is because seller owns a home, obviously, so we got to take care of them. Paperwork, number one. It's like I said, you want to make sure you're doing it. Is it legal to begin with? And just number three, investors, they're cool. I love them. they make money, but they don't own the house, so they have priority for me, but not like number one. I got to take care of this person because at the end of the day, the only way the house can sell if the seller wants to sell.
Yeah, true. Okay. We'll talk about your meetup for a minute because that's really cool that you guys host a meetup every month. Is it once a month?
Yeah, so it's every second Monday of the month. So our
Okay.
last meetup was the Monday that just passed by. I started doing that randomly. Actually, I reached out to Don, and we actually hopped in a Zoom with the Montoyas over there in Houston that do the Power Hour that started it. So
Mhm.
me and Don were originally going to start a Power Hour, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sat down and thought about it. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to do this every Saturday. I don't know how they do it. That's like, I don't know. That's crazy.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
I would say I'm dedicated to real estate, but that's just I got a lot more stuff going on. So like it's not the best for me. So I still want to do a meetup. I still want to market because I always had the goal of uh, networking like crazy. And instead of me actually grinding out and doing these deals, that I can get deals from JVing a lot. I learned that from Jabs. Jabs is one of the people I know that JVs a lot. I actually have a deal with him that I own. And so we started that meetup. We had our first meetup, I would think in June or July, somewhere around there, at Chicken and Pickle in Grand Prairie. It was pretty nice turnout. It was real small at first, but from when we started the meetup around June or July, we went from having 0 members in our Facebook group. I think now we have around 600 in a short time frame. So we're growing
Wow.
pretty quick. We're gonna try to get these meetups bigger. We're gonna try to market it bigger. Obviously, I want to meet more people because the more people I meet, more hands I shake, the more money I make, the more deals I get.
Yep.
So I'm just looking to keep making it bigger. I'm always looking to do more partnerships with people. I wouldn't say do more meetups, but I would like to have some people. Our meetups, we might change it because our meetups right now just it's just like you stand around, you just talk. It's just networking. We don't have anybody that speaks, but I do eventually want to get someone that's decent, not decent, but like good in the real estate industry to
Yeah.
speak. Preferably, I'll try to get Pace. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Elena and them can do
Pretty
that
cool.
because they're mastermind students. So I don't have like the best access to Pace, but if they could pull that off, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. Where can people find out more about the meetup? The Facebook
Yeah.
group?
So our Facebook group. I would tell you here. I gotta look at. I think it's DFW Central Investor Meetup. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the Facebook group. Again, I'll just repeat it. It's DFW Central Investor Meetup. When you try to join, it's going to make you answer a couple questions. We just do that to filter out bots, making sure no one's getting spam. But once you join it, we post the details. And it's not just like for the meetup only. I allow people to post whatever they need help with, or if they have deals or whatever. So I kind of treat it like a networking page.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I definitely wanna I'm looking to move over there, in that
Okay.
area, so I definitely will be there, hopefully every month whenever you guys do that. That'll be a lot of fun.
When do you plan on moving over here?
ASAP. I was actually there yesterday looking around, having a hard time finding any deals. I really want to buy a sub-2 deal and move into that. Having a hard time finding anything that works for us. So went and looked at some rentals. It's not really ideal. I don't really want to do that, but I want to be there before Christmas. So I'm kind of running out of time to find what I
Yeah, I
want.
remember last time we talked on the phone, you were talking about moving over here.
Yeah.
Uh, are you still looking in the same area like Dallas?
Yeah, ideally Garland, that area.
Okay. I'm not too familiar
So,
with Garland. But if I get anything, I can just let you know.
yeah, let me know. I've been doing a lot of direct to agent over there and posting and play in the Facebook groups and stuff, but just nothing has hit my plate. So we'll see. But I do plan to be over there by the end of the year. So I want to go to all the meetups, all the things.
Yeah, I would say DFW's a powerhouse because we have our meetup, we have Jabs meetup, and I forget. Oh, we have Myron's meetup too. I think there's a couple more people too. I think Vina Jetty has one every once in a while. I think I haven't been there
Yeah.
yet, but yeah, just a lot of people over here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and that's kind of how I kind of moved fast on joining Sub Two and doing deals. That's just because I was around the right people, people that actually do deals. So I kind of just learned from them. Took action, stopped being scared. Because if you're scared, you won't be able to do anything you want to do in life. So that's what I did. I just took action, dove in, face my fears. If I had the problems, cool, I fix them. Because any problem you run into, it's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's a lesson. As long as you learn and it makes you better, that's all. That's all should matter.
Yeah. I like that. So, networking is obviously key in this business, but I think that it can be a little nerve-wracking to go to these big meetups and meet all these people you've never seen. And maybe I felt this when I was new is I felt like I haven't done any deals, so maybe I'm not worthy of talking to these people yet, right? Or I don't have anything necessarily to talk about. Like, how do I interact with these people that are doing big things in the business? Do you have any tips for just networking in general at, I guess, specifically real estate events?
Yeah, I would just say like if you're going to a networking event, try not to sit in the corner and be quiet or be on your phone too much. Try to meet everybody you can, shake everybody's hand, ask everybody what they do. And like you said, if you're new and you've never done a deal, you don't have no idea what you're doing, just at least try to absorb the conversations and take advice from whoever's doing deals. Just ask them like, hey, like, how can I help you? You always hear people say add value. I guess when I started, the way I was adding value was just kind of taking action on doing agent outreach. And I told another substitute student that, hey, like, if you help me out, help me underwrite, help me, study all this stuff. When I get a deal, I'm gonna bring it to you. And that's what I did. So that's my way and my advice. If you really want to add value, is just take action, make the calls, whatever you want to do, agent outreach, call agents, direct the seller, do off market. But if you bring a deal to somebody, to me, like personally, like if you brought a deal to me, like I'd be really happy, like be a great business partner.
For sure.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
would be my best advice. Just kind of just take action. I know you hear that a lot, but it's really the truth. That's why people say it all the time. Just if you take action and you just face your fears, you mess up a lot. I promise you, you'll get somewhere. You might not see it like the second it happens. It just takes time though. It's delayed gratification.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think asking people how you can help them or what they're needing in their business is powerful. I think that it may be more powerful if you pair that with like thinking about your strengths because not everyone is good on the phone, right? Like
Yeah,
maybe you're better at paperwork. Maybe you really like to fill out the contracts or go over contracts and talk to title companies. Maybe that's your thing. So think about what your strengths are and say, hey, what can I help you with? I think that I could be good at, X, Y, and Z or whatever, and see maybe that person's looking for a TC or maybe they're looking for a cold caller. Or like you said, just go find them deals and bring them to them because nobody's going to turn down a deal and then it'll really make you stand out for going to putting that action and bringing it back to them.
yeah, and that's legit how I got my traction. I got my first
Yeah.
deal. I shot content. That's the first thing. As soon as I got that deal, believe it or not, the first thing that hit to my head was I got to shoot content. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what we did. I shot content with Damon. I posted it, got some traction off that. Did a couple more deals, just kept posting content, and just kind of build up. Because at the end of the day, my biggest thing, if I'm gonna do a deal with you, I will do a deal with newbie all day. But if you're like doing active deals, obviously you just want to make sure you're credible, you're doing stuff like the right way, being ethical, just not disrespecting sellers, not missing payments, none of that stuff. Just you want to be able to do stuff the right way.
Yeah. Do you, whenever people try to work with you, is looking at their Instagram one of the things that you do?
Yeah, I would say look at their Instagram. I actually searched her name up and like Safari, like say your name's Jay Vaughn. I'll just look you live in. I'm not gonna say your city because I don't know people. You're on YouTube, so say like you live in Fort Worth. I just look up Jay
Mhm.
Vaughn Fort Worth, and if I see anything that pops up, obviously I'm not gonna just like I'll judge someone off the rip. I'm gonna just be like, hey, look, I was just doing my research. I saw this. You mind me asking about this? Obviously that's if something pops up. Or if someone says something about them, I'm not gonna believe it off the rip. I'm gonna actually just like ask like, hey, where's proof? And so just that's my way of vetting people. And yeah, I do check social media. So I check Facebook, Instagram, see what they're posting about. See what they're doing, because that's one of the things too that kind of matter is kind of the lifestyle they live. I'm not trying to be in everybody's life, but I just want to be around the right crowd, and I'm
For
trying to like
sure.
be in rooms that everybody else like in that room is way above me. Like I don't want to be the smartest person. Believe it or not, I want to be the dumbest person in that room.
Yeah, for sure. So you're an agent. You don't do direct to agent anymore. Like you're not really making calls and doing lead gen that way.
Uh, I don't grind out like insanely, but I do shoot like some offers out and stuff like that. So uh, I've been doing recent like on sub two wise, like sub two deals. I'm about to lock one up over here in Fort Worth, and this is off market. So that's kind of what I've been doing too, is just off market and the ways I get my off market leads for sub twos. Again, JV, swear. Every
Mm,
deal I got off market sub two was from someone else, and I just JV
yeah,
with them.
so good. It's so powerful. I mean, if you become, I think that content plays a huge part in that. But if you can
Yeah,
become the
yeah,
person that like every time I get on Instagram, I'm seeing that you're closing a sub two deal or you're closing a novation deal or you're doing this, you're at meetups, like my first thought when I get a deal is, oh, let me take it to him. I see that he's doing this stuff every single day.
yeah.
So yes, powerful. I mean, if you can just make a post every day and people start bringing you deals and you don't even have to go put in that work, I mean, that's crazy powerful.
Yeah, and it's good too because if someone's new, they get to leverage someone else's time that's actually experienced. So at the end of the day, everybody gains something. So someone else gets a deal, the experienced person gets a deal, the newbie gets to learn. So it's literally a win-win, and the seller gets paid, the seller gets their money, so everybody's winning.
Yeah, for sure. Are you still, I know you were doing TC stuff for a while. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still doing TC. Yeah, I actually partnered up with Evelyn and Damien. They're over there in the Pennsylvania area, the East Coast. So yeah, I work with them, do some deals with them, transaction coordination deals. Uh, that's probably one of my favorite type of transactions, to be honest. Like sub twos and all that are cool, but like the ENTC is pretty cool. I haven't done it like too much, but I still do it on the side, but not like full time because I obviously got other obligations going on, like being an agent, just doing my normal investing. So like I don't want to be scattered out too much where I'm like 1 hour I'm doing this, 1 hour I'm doing that. I want to be able to kind of not perfect my craft, but get good at something. And once I get good at the other things, just kind of like focus on whatever I need to focus on.
Yeah. What do you like so much about being a TC?
I would say the paperwork, like knowing the paperwork. I'm a big fan of like studying like just the laws and stuff. It's real interesting to me because if you read the laws, you know what you're doing, and when trouble does come, you're fine. Obviously, I wouldn't say like you're guaranteed fine, but I mean, I think in any type of business, the most important thing is like paperwork because at the end of the day, if something goes bad, someone's going to ask for, well, what did the contract say? So that's why I like being at TC. It's because I don't advise people. I don't do none of that. I just, connect them with the right title company or closing attorney. Help, look over the documents. Make sure, like I said, I don't advise anybody. So I just look over everything, make sure everything looks cool. And once that's good, then I help them close the deal. So whatever I need help with, it just really depends. If it's a sub two deal, different paperwork, cash deal, different paperwork, novation, different paperwork. And just with novations, then kind of be straight up. I haven't done any other novations outside the state. I have one that I'm a transaction coordinator on in Pennsylvania. So we're just waiting to get that one sold. But other than that, I just done novations in Pennsylvania and Texas. So like if you hit me up and you try to do innovation in a different state, I might not know a lot in that state. So I
Yeah,
just want to give you a heads up. I want to be transparent.
for sure. I love that. I wish I was like that where I like to read paperwork and all the laws and stuff. And honestly, that stuff makes my brain hurt. I'm like so thankful for TCs to take care
Yeah.
of that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. How important would you say that having a TC is on every deal? Like, is that an absolute must to hire a TC?
Yeah, I would say it's an absolute must. And the reason why is because if you're trying to be the investor that does like the deal, locking up deals, you don't want to lock up a deal, spend your time doing your own transaction coordination because if you do that, that takes a while. That takes away your marketing time. So if you try to market, you can't market because you're doing your own paperwork. But if you hire out, that's the best thing about hiring out. You get to outsource everything you do. Obviously, I wouldn't just hire any TC. Just try to hire a TC that kind of understands what type of deal you're doing. I wouldn't say don't stay away from newbies. Newbies are good too, but just like I said, just double check, make sure they actually know what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, this is real estate transactions is probably like the biggest transactions in a lot of people's life. And us as investors, we're used to it, but homeowners, they probably buy a house and sell a house once in their life, maybe more, but not as frequent as investors. So you just want to make sure you're doing everything the right way. Obviously, like I said, just hire a TC. I know it costs money, but it's better, to spend the money and not be cheap and, lose your time, because at the end of the day, time is money. So the more time you have to make money, then you obviously make more money.
For sure. Yeah, I like that. Like, so I'm the lead generator essentially in the business. So as soon as I get a contract, I'm handing it off, and I'm still in it a little bit, right? Like I'm still keeping the communication with
Yeah.
the agent seller, but I'm not really like doing anything on the back end. Like it's handed off and I'm turning around and focusing again on finding more deals. And you're right, if I didn't have those people, then I would be spending most of my time trying to get that deal taken care of versus bringing in other ones. And then you start to lose business and lose traction, and
Yeah.
you're only closing one deal because that's where all your focus is going. So yeah, love that. So thankful for TCs. I think that are you in the top tier TC program?
No, I'm not in top tier, no, but I heard
Okay.
great things about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's really good that they started that, because I think that in real estate, I mean, you seem very like you can kind of do it all. Like you have both sides of the personality of where you can network and find deals, but you can also, you like the paperwork a lot, but
Yeah.
not a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are more one sided, where I'm cool being on the phone all day, or I don't want to touch the phone at all. I just want to do the back end stuff. So I think it's really cool that there's a whole program where you can just focus on being that person that keeps the deals going, keeps the deals clean, and make sure that these things get closed correctly.
Yeah, and that's great too. If you're a newbie, and another advice too that kind of Jay said earlier is, if you do want to get in real estate and you don't want to like grind out the cold calls, do door knock and all that, you could just really become a TC. I would say find a TC first that's actually doing deals. Just say, hey, look, I'll market for you, and if I market for you, if I get a TC client, then I'll JV with you and we can split it 50-50, or you can let them have the whole cut. But as long as they teach you how to do a transaction, to me, that's the best way to actually learn how to do deals. And that's actually how I learned how to do a lot more sub two deals and kind of do more advanced. It's just, I became a TC and I just TC for other people, just learning from their deals, because they ran, every deal you run into issues. So if you're doing a lot of sub two transactions, not even sub two, just normal transactions as a TC, you're going to learn each transaction. So each time you learn, you just get better and better. It just adds up legit. Like every deal is going to have not new situations, but new problems.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree, definitely. This business there's so many, especially in creative, there's so many different things that go on behind the scenes that most people don't think
Yeah,
about when you talk about buying and selling real estate. But it's important to have those people that do know those things so you're not stuck in a bad situation.
exactly.
Well, cool. So what skill do you feel like has been the most important, the most valuable to getting where you're at today, to getting, all these deals done, to becoming the person that you are right now? What skill do you feel like has been maybe your number one?
I would say networking. I would say
Networking.
that's like my number one skill. Like if you ask me, like to me, that's probably my number one skill. I'm not like the greatest networker of all time, but I
Yeah.
would say I know how to get out there. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. Um, I'll be willing to speak at a meetup or whatever. I used to not speak at meetups, but I used to do the agent outreach room at Jabs and Zach's meetup and Chris's meetup. So that was pretty cool. Every time there was a meetup, I host that room. So that kind of brought me out. Uh, Kind of got me not scared of speaking in front of people. It got me used to it. So I had a meetup with someone else, and we actually spoke about innovation. So like I kind of done some speaking events, and that's kind of what got me out my shell a lot more and more. And
Mm,
at the same time, it's networking events. So if you're speaking a lot, people see you a lot, they recognize you, they hear about you a lot, they'll start reaching out to you. So that was my way of getting deals. And like I said, that's my best skill is just networking, just not being afraid to just take action. Just like I said, you're not perfect, so you're gonna mess up. So you might as well just do it.
Yeah, I like that. So you didn't start out good at networking. You continue to take action
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
the thing
Oh yeah.
over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, I sucked at networking at first. Actually, that meetup I went to, Jabs meetup and all them, the first time ever, I just sat there and just kind of just was quiet.
Mhm.
I was just awkward. So like I'm not a natural born networker. It just took time, but I mean I stay consistent. I try to go to every meetup. I try to go at least a meetup every month, and I try to talk to people on the phone every day. In sub two or not sub two, other investors, other realtors, other TCs, attorneys, whoever. I just try to talk to other people, just add more to my network, and add more people. Either to my investors list that either can lend money, buy deals, or whatever they can help me out with.
Yeah. Love it. Love it, love it. What do you feel like you need most in your business right now?
I would say I want I want more ownership. That's my that's gonna be my goal for 2024. I think I'm not gonna hammer down on buying. I'm not gonna buy like crazy, but I'm actually gonna try to like switch operations from. I'm still gonna do my innovations, but I'm gonna try to focus more on off market. Start kind of generating more leads. I do want to hire out systems now because I feel like I'm in a time to actually train and know what to look for. So that's something I'm thinking about doing because, like I said, I do want to buy a lot more in 2024. I at least want to have 5 doors at it. I just have one, so it'd be pretty cool. Just kind of add more to my net worth, over time.
Yep. Cool. So really maybe looking for maybe people to add to your team and then looking
Yeah,
for people new deals to purchase.
yeah. So I would say I'm looking for more JV partners. So you can either be new or experienced. Don't matter. I'll find a way we can work together. And obviously, if you're lending money, I will be willing to partner up with you. So the way I do it is a little different. I know a lot of people pay people interest, but I'm the type of guy that's willing to give up ownership, like a private money partner. I know Pace talks about that a lot. So basically, what that is, a private money partner, instead of them winning the money and making interest, they actually have ownership in the deal and they fund it for you. And that's what I did for my deal that I own right now with Jabs. I brought the deal to him. I said, "Hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you fund it and help me do whatever our exit strategy which was a wrap."
Yeah. That's what I love so much about community and networking is you don't really have to know much at all. Like if you can just make a call and you don't even have to know how to actually get it under contract. If you can just have a
Nah,
conversation, bring someone else in. They can close the deal, they can fund the deal, they can help you wholesale it or keep it or whatever you're doing. You literally don't have to know anything. You can hire every or JV with everybody, TC. They can tell you what
yeah,
title company. They can tell you everything. It's just so crazy. And I mean, you can find that from one networking event. You can find those partners.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to be an amazing cold caller, amazing salesperson, amazing closer, or whatever. You can legit just take action. And when you run into an issue, if you have a team around you, or not a team, but you have a network around you of people that know how to solve those issues, you'll get it solved.
Yeah, for sure. So if people watch this and they want to reach out to you, what would you say that you are? I know it's probably many things, but what would you say that you're able to help people with if they reach out to you today?
Yeah, so I can help out with any like normal listings, obviously. Novations to sub twos as well. Cash deals, pretty much any type of deal. Wraps, not Morby methods. I haven't done that yet, and I have no idea how those work. But I would say pretty much any type of deal except for Morby method. If you need help closing agent or whatever, if you need help underwriting, if you need help finding an attorney that can close a certain deal, if you need help finding an attorney for another issue or whatever, just you can hit me up. I'll point you in the best direction. And if I don't know the answer, I'll point you to someone that knows the answer.
Cool. Where's the best place for people to find you and reach out to you?
I would say Instagram. So my Instagram is the Diego J Salazar. I don't know if I should spell it out. I hope people can spell that, but I'll spell it out. So it's at Diego Diego J Salazar Salazar. Facebook is Diego Salazar too. I'm more responsive on Instagram just because on Facebook I get a lot of spam messages, so I do shut off my messenger app. And sometimes people do DM me, and I don't look at it for a couple of days. And I look at it, and kind of like I told you, I'm like, oh crap, I saw you texting me. So yeah, I would say hit me up on Instagram because Instagram I don't turn my notifications on. So as soon as you DM me, I'll probably answer.
Cool.
Then I'll give you my number. I don't want to give out my number on YouTube because I think they cut you off for that or something. Maybe I'm not too sure. Like
I'm not sure either, but I don't know if I would trust putting your number out there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, cool. People will reach out to you on Instagram. Let me throw this back up here. Go check out that Facebook group. There's a monthly meetup. You said the second Monday of every month?
Yeah, second Monday of the month, 8:30 or not 8:30, 5:30 to 8 p.m.
Cool. Check that out. Hit up Diego. He obviously has a wealth of knowledge. It can help you with many different aspects of your business. DM him on Instagram. He has some cool content. Anything else you want to add?
How could me and you do deals?
Yeah, how can we do deals? We really need to. I'm surprised we haven't yet. I mean, like I said, I'm looking for a house to buy. So if you come across anything like that, definitely that. Hopefully in the next 30 days is what I'm hoping for. So yeah, if you can come across anything like that. I think, were you working with us for a little bit as a TC?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah, probably that. I don't know. What can I help you with? What can I bring to you? More deals to buy?
Yeah, I would say deals, and I would like to partner on Novation because I think y'all do a lot of agent outreach, so it might not be the best for Novations. But I mean, if you did have like a seller that didn't want to do sub 2 or cash or whatever, I'd be 100% down to JV with you and just show you how I do my Novations. Yeah, I mean, wherever I can help you, let me know. Then I'll do the same for you. Whatever I need help with, I'll figure out a way we can do a deal for sure.
Absolutely.
Hopefully by the end of the year. Yeah.
I was going to say, coming soon. We need to in the next 45 days for sure. That'd be awesome. And then we can make some content for whenever I get down there.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna need to get some content. Yeah, I see you post a lot though. I mean, you post these stream. I think it's called StreamYard. Yeah, you post these StreamYards a lot, and you cut them up. I need to start doing it. So I think once you upload this one, I'm probably gonna end up doing that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it's smart.
You should.
You can cut it up.
Yeah, I can send you some clips from this to post.
Yeah, I'll make sure to tag you. So.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. This was fun. You provided a lot of knowledge. It was nice to chat about what you have going on and what you bring to the table and what you can help others with. So thanks so much for your time and for coming on here. I hope everyone watching enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.